What's going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing that I've noticed the most about Splitgate 2 on the internet, is the trust issues people have between Splitgate 1 and Splitgate 2, and how a lot of people think that they are going to abandon the game like they abandoned Splitgate 1, although they never did. But again, a lot of people have trust problems when it comes to this game, and I'm here to kind of tell you guys why I personally put all of my trust within this development team and, their capability of putting together a banger that will, be around for a decent amount of time. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 Money Eastern Time, mostly Call of Duty. But of course, when Splitgate 2 finally comes out, we can start discussing this game, all the updates, and of course, you guys know I want to dabble in Battlefield, Gears of War E-Day. I have a pretty select rotation of games that I want to discuss on this channel as they slowly start to come out in the future. So of course, if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, subscribe and hit that bell. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, back during the alpha, I actually brought up this topic multiple different times while I was chatting with you guys on stream. But I think it's very true, and honestly, it's one of the main reasons why I have so much trust in this development team. The simple fact that they could have ripped us off. I've seen time and time and time again, developers or indie teams getting a massive, fat budget, and instead of actually using that money wisely and wanting to see the game that they put out there thrive, they take that budget, or they take all the money that they earned, whether if it's a free-to-play game or a full paid game, cough, cough, BattleBit, if anybody remembers that game. And they will do some things. They'll try to, keep the community coming for a little bit amount of time, but you could tell that their passion isn't completely there. And they are more than likely going to take that money and run with it, In all reality, the Splitgate devs didn't have to actually put forth all that cash into anything, really. They could have made a very bare-bone game. They could have made Splitgate 1.5, done nothing, made a few changes here and there, and just shipped it out to the community, not hire any new devs, and keep the mass majority of that money for themselves. And just run with it. They didn't have to actually go ahead and, reinvest everything and try to make the best game possible and, take a gamble on if this game is going to be successful or not. No, they could have easily just, left, put out something very bare minimum, and go about their business and enjoy their lives with a nice fat check. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not the case here. They indeed reinvested all of that money to make sure they could put out a top product here for us, the community. It wasn't about them, although it was, because they're passionate about the game, they care about this game, and they wanted to see this game thrive. But again, like I said, if it was all about them, they would have taken the money, put out something that, the Splitgate 1 fans would have been happy with, the 1.5, very bare minimum work, a few changes, and just push it out there, take the rest of that check and live large and lavish. But they didn't. Again, they put it all into this game for us, the community. I actually saw a post by subgenre over on the Splitgate subreddit board, which I completely agree with. And again, for everybody who keeps saying that Splitgate 1 they abandoned, so I have trust issues. I can't trust this development team because they abandoned Splitgate 1, and if they're going to abandon Splitgate 1, that means Splitgate 2 is going to just be thrown into the trash bin. Well, this take right here, I think, is very important to read off here. Says, hot take. Now that I've played the Splitgate 2 alpha, Splitgate 1 feels like a proof of concept. I had a great time playing the first game, and I have a pretty high KD, but it was bare bones for a shooter game. I always felt like there needed to be more to it, and Splitgate 2 definitely has what it needed. I'm very excited to see what they do with it once it comes out fully. But I think that's a perfect way of putting it. Splitgate 1 felt like a concept. Although a phenomenal game, tons of fun, at the end of the day, it felt like a concept. And a concept game isn't going to be enough to break into the marketplace and become popular enough to be sustainable. Let's be completely real here, guys. Let's be completely real. Splitgate 1 was put together by a couple of people in a dorm room for a school project, okay? In all reality, that's cool and all. And I am beyond excited that they, got this opportunity to get, someone to invest in them and they can keep pushing with this dream, this passion project. But again, the reality is it was a game put together in a dorm room for a school project, okay? You don't know many school projects out there that are topping charts and, making a ton of money and stuff like that, So at the end of the day, although it was great and it was cool to have Splitgate 1, the devs had to leave. And they made it clear to us that they weren't leaving to ditch Splitgate 1, but to work on the next game. That's what really annoys me the majority of the time, is people saying that they abandoned Splitgate 1 when they very clearly stated that they didn't. You know, they were going to work on Splitgate 2. They could have kept updating Splitgate 1. That could have been an alternative, but was it the smartest idea? No, because once again, it's a school project. They probably didn't even expect it to get the hype that it did in the first place, people. So in order for them to get the game that they want, they had to go back to square one. You know, new engine, new everything. Hiring a bunch of top-tier devs. I mean, my God, they picked up some absolute goats in this industry to work on Splitgate 2. They really mean business here. And that is why I personally have faith in this team putting together Splitgate 2. Because like I said, from experience, I've seen way too many small teams pick up a nice fat check and just run with it. I know what the outcome looks like when a team does this. I know what the community will go through. When it comes to Splitgate 2, the community is not going through this whatsoever. It is a true add-on to the Splitgate universe. You know, the animations are tremendously cleaner. The movement is toned and refined to be perfect for both competitive and casual play. You know what I'm saying? Tons of maps. They added in big team battle now into the experience, which is going to be a complete game changer. And it's going to be a mode that they support, so you can best believe you're going to expect a lot more content in there as well. They really do care about the progress of this game, and they want to see it in a more perfected state. And because of that, I'm on board with them. I am. I trust this team. As long as they're willing to, go all in on this project, I think a lot of people will go all in as well. But them reinvesting all of that money into this title is not the only reason I trust this team. It's also the communication. Again, guys, you know me, especially if you guys have been following me for a while now. I loved X-Defined a ton, and not just because of the gameplay, but because of the communication the developers brought to the table. We, the community, felt like we were a part of the process of the game. We knew what was going on. We knew what was wrong. We always had a time frame on when to expect certain fixes. And when the community spoke on what they liked or didn't like in the game, guess what? It got resolved. It's not like other games out there where they pretend to want to hear, community feedback. And, they put out posts and polls and, want people to, reply and give their criticism. And then at the end of the day, they don't do anything with it. It's like they're trying to act like they care to get that, connection with the community, but they're not actually going to put forth that criticism. Whereas in X-Defiant, they did. Every single time they did something the community didn't like, they would revert it or even change it to what the community prefers. That was huge. And when it comes to Splitgate, they are keeping that same exact mentality. They listen to the community. They keep them in the loop. We know everything that's going on. And like I said, the biggest factor is they take our feedback. If there's something we don't like or prefer, they will try to find a middle ground. And ladies and gentlemen, I know everybody probably thinks, oh, that's just common practice, but it's not. You don't get that experience nowadays in gaming. These companies don't give a crap about the consumer, only the money that will leave their pockets. A lot of these other teams, though, are starting to pick up this type of communication, and it's huge. And I'm telling you, this is the future. This is the future of gaming, and other teams are going to have to start picking this up, or they're going to start losing their audience, their fan base, because people want to be heard. Even if it's, in a negative way where they're heard and, they can't compromise, they're still heard at the end of the day, instead of just simply being ignored. And I am so happy that the Splitgate team is picking up this communication. I mean, honestly, they're not picking up this communication. They've always had this type of communication, and it's phenomenal. It's how you keep a hardcore community, and once again, another reason why I have a ton of trust within this team. But that alone, ladies and gentlemen, is why I really want to push with this game, why I have so much confidence in this game. The fact that they are willing to put all that cash to make sure they can put out a really top-notch experience for us means a lot. And also incorporating all of our feedback into the loop means the world. And those two things alone, I think, are enough for people to understand that they want to see this game succeed. I know a lot of people wanted Splitgate 1.5, and I think that's the biggest problem here. But at the end of the day, this is Splitgate 2. This is a true upgrade in every way, shape, or form, at least in my opinion. Others are going to share different opinions, and they're all welcome. Again, just because this is my opinion doesn't mean I'm correct, right? Everything I'm saying could be completely wrong to someone else, and that's fair because they're all opinions. But you could tell these devs are passionate, and that means the world to a lot of people out there. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget subscribing to that bell. I post daily here at 8:20 Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.